Alright guys, and welcome back with another Dokkan battle video. So today we are going to talk about the new hardest boss in Global Dokkan, so the physical Shenron fight. And it dropped today for me. So this is a complete guide and tips to how to defeat him and characters you want to use and just how much damage he does and everything. I will give my personal tips and opinions on who should use and best characters, strategies, but understand that I'm facing this boss. Like I defeated him twice and I faced him 10 times with different teams, but it's very new for global. And while I've seen the fight, of course I've seen him on JP Dokkan, I haven't fighted him myself a lot of times. So probably in 2 months I will be able to do a better video like this talking about this boss. This is just my first impression and what I think are the best characters to bring. So let's start to talk about the first phase, Int Sin Shenron. We can see he has 33 million HP. His attack is 330k, this is from normal attacks, of course. And the defense doesn't really matter, 58% damage reduction, and he attacks 8 times per turn. The super attack just does immense damage to enemy, so it's not going to seal you, it's not going to stun you, it's not going to lower your defense or to lower your attack or something. It's just doing damage that is 924k, which is a lot turn 1, and I think it's the hardest turn 1 boss. I think the Omega Shenron boss on JP hits for 800k on phase 1, 850, so this I think is the hardest boss on turn 1. And he has a 17% chance to do it, the super attack. He can do only 1 per turn, and his cooldown is 8 attacks. So if he does 1 attack, then for the other 8 he's not going to super attack you, which is very good, because it means he's not going to super attack every single turn every time. Of course he cannot be sealed, he cannot be stunned, he cannot be defensive debuffs, and it changes the orbs at the start of turn. So this is before you change orb with characters like LR Bulma, for example. But as you can see, he can be attack debuff. So if you have characters that can lower attack, like Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, for example, or LR Bulma, Orange Piccolo, Beast Gohan, they lower attack, they can help you with debuffing him. But remember that the attack lowering on the super attacks, so like LR Orange Piccolo, he lowers attack on his 18 key. Lowering attack on your super attack is different than lowering attack on your passive. So if you have Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and you have LR Orange Piccolo, Orange Piccolo supers Sin Shenron with the 18 key, he lowers his attack. That's going to be massive on normals. You will feel the effect on normals. Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's debuff is going to be massive on super attacks, not normal, because of the phase when it's activated. It's just calculated differently, and so when you debuff with the super attack, you will need 3 greatly lowered attack to lower this guy's super attack damage considerably, 30% or something. But it's not you need a lot of debuffs to really be able to tank him just with that. Anyway, it's not the hardest phase ever. My tip is to not speedrun him, because you can one turning. The Dragon Ball Z Duo, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta can 2 super attacks and he's dead. And that's bad for you. So I will say, if you can, try to stall as much as you can. Set up your rotations, because this guy doesn't lock. And he doesn't seal, he doesn't stun, he doesn't like affect your stats. So you can just set your rotations together. If you want to prepare for some strategy, you can start to do it. So I don't know, Tech War Tournament Goku revive, or the GT Duo revive, or LR Bulma active skill, or something like that. You can start preparing for them while you're in this first phase, because after you defeat him, you will go against AGL Shenron, which is a bit harder because he has less HP, 30 million instead of 33. He does way more damage on normals, 420k, which is almost as close as the Omega Shenron in the GT Red Zone. He can do 8 attacks in one turn and 1 AoE. AoE damage 1, I think it's just a normal attack, and it's for 20k, the same as a normal. AoE damage 2, this is the AoE, and it's only 210k, so it's very pathetic. Like, the AoE, it's nothing. The super attack, same thing as before, just immense damage, but now it's 1,176k, so way harder, and 8 attacks cooldown. So the problem is that he cannot be attack debuffed, and so this phase is going to be very hard for you if you're struggling with the first phase. Even because he has the AoE. So you will start to have problems, because maybe your character that is very good after he supers is going to get it really hard from this guy. If it's only after he supers he's good. But this can help. The AoE is only 1 per turn, so it's not the biggest deal ever, but you can maybe build up some characters that need to get hit. Not really much to say about him, because it's just basically int Shenron, but with 1 AoE and a bit more attack. Again, it can be helpful if you want to build up some characters like Tech War Tournament Goku that needs to get hit a lot of times. Other than that, not really much to say. STR units can struggle against him, but pretty much it's only the normals, not really the AoE. So it's just you put an STR character, it's going to get super red, then it's really bad. But if it's just a normal, it should be able to tank, and you will need some STR characters, because the last phase, physical Shenron, it's way harder, not even close. So 71 million HP, way more, 480k attack, again way more. This is really hard. He does 10 attacks per turn, and he can do up to 3 AoE per turn, and the damage is for 80k on the AoE too. So his AoE damage is like 500k. And remember, if you are a super class unit, you will take more. So this guy hits really hard, even because the super attack causes immense damage, yes, but it lowers defense as well. It's a 40% debuff, and it's 1.3 million, and he has a 20% chance to do it. Only 1 per turn. Cannot be sealed, cannot be stunned, cannot be attack and defensive debuff. So physical Shenron. He was the hardest boss in the game, but I don't think it was like, okay, Shenron is the hardest, all the others means nothing. Like, he's a bit harder than Broly, but Broly cancels dodge and Broly can double super. and he's harder than Metal Cooler Core for sure, but the first phase can double super, and then the last phase seals, and it does 300k more damage. So you can still have arguments for the other like big fights. The thing that makes Shenron so scary is that, okay, Metal Cooler Core can seal you, but if there is one slot where you're not attacked, you can just put one character here and you know that that character is fine. Against Broly, you cannot dodge, of course, but if you're in the AGL phase, and again, there is a slot when there is no attacks, or there is only one attack, then you know that character is fine. And with this guy, it's not really possible. It's very difficult to hide against Shenron because of the AoEs. So his physical and the type coverage is really like bad because you will need STR characters, but he's AGL, and that's of course intentional. They want to not make you bring a ton of STR characters because this physical Shenron, if you have like the top tier STR characters, they're going to incinerate him in like 2 seconds. So for this phase particularly, what I think you should do is try to avoid to stay against him for the longest time. So if you're bringing like the super slow team, if you have some offensive tech, use it against him. You need to get rid of him as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it's going to catch you. Because from what I know, it's very common that he supers in slot 1. Like before attacking, he immediately supers. And that already happened to me a couple of times. So you want to get rid of him as quickly as possible. I don't think bringing like UI Goku is a good idea. You can always do it if you have like not really much options, but it's not really a fight in which you want to risk too much. I can give tips, but the good thing about this event is that you don't have daily limits. You can go like 15 run in one day and just, okay, I will learn the fight by myself. The best character to bring, in my opinion, if you want just to win, you don't care about doing a challenge, you don't care about like I don't know, using the cool team or doing all the missions and something. The best character to bring, in my opinion, is the GT duo. From what I've seen, they completely dominate the fight, and what they do is being able to give you one rotation free while almost killing him. That's what I've seen, and if you just want to win, the biggest tip I can give you is to bring GT Duo Friend. They will destroy completely the physical scene. If you can get the GT Duo to attack this guy and they like stack it for a bit and they have the good links active, they can like take this guy full health to 40% in one rotation alone. It's insane what they can do. And if you have like the Spirit Bomb, you won. If you can put the GT Duo with the Spirit Bomb and they can attack him, you won, basically. So that's the best character you can bring, in my opinion. Orange Piccolo is very good as well, but you gotta be careful that you have the guard against this guy. So you need the intro up. Not really the most difficult thing, but remember, no intro, no guard, and this guy will destroy him. Another character that is very good, I'm just not saying it because it's fairly new, it's Alar Bulma. I have Alar Bulma and I've used her a bit, but uh, she's very new. I don't want to say like, yeah, bring Alar Bulma. Of course, if you have Alar Bulma, bring her, but not everyone has Alar Bulma, especially considering it's Alar Bulma. Like, I can say the GT Duo because a lot of people save it for them. So it's more likely you have Bulma, the GT Duo, than Bulma, of course. And after this, again, GT Duo, a character like Physical Piccolo can be helpful because you have the Scouter. The STR Carnival Goku can be helpful because of type advantage. But besides that, this fight, it's not really the hardest ever. Just it's like way harder version of the Red Zone Baby, basically. And you have to do the same principle, but Red Zone Baby didn't have type coverage like this guy. And after this, the the best thing you can do is bringing characters that can debuff the first phase that are not going to be like type disadvantage against the others. AGL Elargon can do it, and Orange Piccolo can do it as well on the 18 key. LRB's Gohan can get the job done, but you have to be very careful because it cannot leave this guy's super attack unless it's like perfect situations. So it's very dangerous, even because the damage is not the craziest against him if you don't have, again, perfect situations. But usually LR Ultimate Gohan is so fast that if you have perfect situation, it will kill this guy in 2 seconds. So all your teams then will be dying to him. What I think you should do is to not blow the first phase too fast, even the second phase, because if you have like offensive demons that will one-shot this, usually they're not like defensive demons that then will be able to leave him. So you need to bring a balance to your team. Remember, in my opinion, if you're using a team, you need to give them a role. Like, you have 6 characters. Not everyone is going to do everything. You need to have a proper damage dealer, a proper support unit, a proper defensive unit, a proper utility unit. It's not like they cannot all be good offense, good defense, utility, everyone. You gotta understand like what's the thing you want to prioritize for this specific unit in this specific fight and why. And I think prioritizing offensive like damage dealer immediately that will destroy this guy, it's not a good idea. Unless you have like everything rainbow and everything, but at that point you're not listening to me. I know if people are going to watch this video, the majority of them are free-to-play players that cannot beat this guy. So remember, don't like, okay, your entire team is 55%. You bring a rainbow friend Z-Duo. They one-shot this phase and you think, oh my god, I'm going to win. And then this guy nukes you turn 2. Because the Z-Duo rainbow did all the damage, but then your 55% unit cannot sustain this. Like the 420 on normals and the 1.2 million on super attack turn 2, then your 55% unit cannot sustain him. So that's the issue. You have to remember like what your team is capable of. So as I was saying, if you get your Rainbow Z-Duo friend that will one-shot the first phase, then the second one will kill you. Remember what your units are capable of and what your team is capable of, and especially what you are capable of. If you're not confident in like what your unit do, you don't really remember the passives, and if you maybe forgot wow, this unit needs 6 or 7 orbs, needs 7 or 8 orbs, they need to get hit or to attack. Don't be afraid of like go checking or just saying, okay, I will do this fight maybe in 1 or 2 weeks, if you don't really like know what you're doing. Because if you play day one thinking, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win, and then you continue to lose, it gets frustrating for you. You don't have daily limits or something, so it's not like that's the point. It's just that it gets frustrating when you die 10, 15 times in a row, and then you don't want to play and think like this game sucks, fuck this game and everything. So take your time. If it's hard, don't worry, the fight will stay here, it's not going anywhere. So just remember, this fight can be really, really hard, but it's not impossible. If you can beat Broly, you can beat him. If you can beat Metal Cooler Core, especially since it's the same type, if you can beat Metal Cooler Core, you can absolutely defeat Shenron. So it's just a question of having a bit good of luck that is always needed in this game, and knowing what you're doing. Besides that, it's not really unfair since it's not locking, sealing, stunning, attack lowering and stuff. So it's not really unfair. If you really struggle, try to reset until you get good rotations. And besides that, I can only wish you good luck, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye.